Good evening, everybody. I told you guys in advance that I was going to do this tonight, and here I am. I'm going to go ahead and turn this down just a little bit. There we go. It's getting a little cool in here. As you can see here, I have a new fish tank. Welcome, welcome. As you guys come into the live stream, I want you to tell me who you are so I know exactly who I'm dealing with tonight. So please come on in, get yourself comfortable, because we are doing this live. All righty. As you well know, if you guys are regular viewers, I am Ted the Speed Learner, and I'm glad to see all you here. Again, I say check out the fish tank. We got 4 fish in there. Very nice fish. So if you're watching for no other reason than for the fish, go ahead and watch the fish. But if you're here for a different reason, I'm glad you're here. So please, as you come on in, let me know who you are, because I have no clue. Say, hey, I'm here. Okie dokie. So what are we going to do tonight? Well, first of all, I want to ask a question. I haven't had a chance to ask this yet. And if you are not watching... BLG Man 0909. Oh, hello. Okay. He says, yo, I'm here, sir. So I'm glad to see you. Anyway, now, the question that I want to ask you, whether you're watching this live or you're watching this later on, if you watch this later on, leave it in the comments below. If you're watching this live, I have a question for you guys. I presume, we got a second person in here. Welcome. Come on in. Let me know who you are, because I will not know. So please tell me who you are. Sorry, I got a cord down here, and I have to kind of get my feet positioned so I don't have to hit the cord. Anyway, okay. So I presume you guys checked out my brand new navigating my YouTube videos. Okay. I had 3 of them. I had the navigating for the laptop, the navigating for the smartphone, and the navigating also for the television app. What did you guys think of the illustrations that I had in those videos? And I know you guys said, well, we watched the audio part on the live stream. Yes, I know you watched the audio part in the live stream, but when I actually made the actual videos themselves, I put illustrations in there. I actually made them with Microsoft Paint. I want to know what you thought of that. I also, for those of you who watched Math Doesn't Suck Part 10, you also saw illustrations there too. I want to know what you thought of those illustrations. Now, another thing I want to tell you guys, I know I told you guys that, well, I don't know how many of you I told, but I did tell a bunch of you that I was preparing dinner and then I was going to get on the air. The main reason I told you that is because I have an elderly parent, and there are times when I need to help my elderly parent, and I was helping her out, and now she is doing whatever she's doing. So, but anyway, when I'm dealing with an elderly parent, I need to be attentive to her needs as well as you guys' needs. So that does affect my time, and I don't necessarily know when I'm going to do something and so on and so forth. So my time is a little unpredictable because of that. So that's why I couldn't say definitively at this very second, but I could say, you know, I'm preparing lunch. As soon as I eat and get everything set down and set up and ready to go, then we'll be on the air. That way you can kind of keep your eyes open. You know, hey, you know, he's going to be on the air soon. Let's see if, let's see if there was any responses on Facebook. I hope there was. Okay. Well, somebody responded. That's good. All right. Now, anyway, So that kind of affects my timing and that kind of thing. So I do what my best. Sometimes I can really work out a good schedule. Sometimes I can't. Now I will tell you another thing about living here in Illinois, and I'm sure that, I'm studying cybersecurity in university. Do you think it is a good field? It's a good field as far as pay is concerned. One of the things I would like to point out is that it is also a very stressful field, and you need to find ways to keep calm and relaxed while dealing with it. There's a lot of education you're going to have with this field, and you're going to learn a lot of stuff, and that's great. But keep in mind, it's also very stressful because you're dealing with cybersecurity. That's what you're dealing with. Are you getting the idea? Are you getting the picture here? So it's a good field. You'll get paid well, but it's also very stressful. So keep that in mind as you're doing it. All right. And don't let it get to you. That's the only thing, is to keep calm, keep relaxed. When you leave the job, leave the job. Don't think about it. You just walk away. And when you go in, you're going to have stress. There's no question about it. But like I said, don't let it get to you. That's the most important thing. But yes, it's a very good occupation. I'm thrilled you're going to go into it, and I hope you succeed. All right. So, having said all that, where was I? Oh, yes. And Survival on a Budget Made Easy. You're going to discover this rather quickly because I know that you're... Boy, how do I put this? Basically, Survival on a Budget Made Easy now lives in a region very close to my own. That I'll say. He lives in a region very close to my own. And in this particular region that we both live in now, the weather can be super cold one day and then super hot the next. This is not a joke, folks. Go back to my video on the 50th anniversary of the Clinton Apple and Pork Festival. The day I videotaped that, I was freezing my behind off. There is no question about that. Man, was it cold. The very next day, I went back to the Clinton Apple and Pork Festival because I have an older sister, and she went with me. And wow, I couldn't get my clothes off fast enough. It was that hot. It really was that hot. One day it was ice cold. The next day it was broiling. And that's the kind of region we both live in. And boy, you learn about that pretty quick. So there you have it. There you go. So now we both live in the same general region. And so there you go. Anyway, what are we going to do tonight? Well, first of all, I'm going to review some videos. And then after I review those videos, I am going to go ahead and do yet another episode of Danica McKellar's Math Doesn't Suck. But the icing on the cake tonight isn't this. Oh, no. Remember a while back, I told you about this book called Jesus, Justice, and the Reign of God? Well, let me tell you something. There's some vocabulary in here, and you're going to learn that vocabulary tonight. So you're getting a vocabulary lesson tonight. So that's how we're going to spin the icing on the cake there. All right, so let's start with the fun stuff. As I am videotaping, I am looking at my notes and my webcam. I'm not necessarily paying attention to the live chat, but just as soon as I stop each video, I will go ahead and read the comments that are left behind on the right, because I have the comments right here on the right-hand side stating, all your comments on this live stream. So I will read them. It's just during a particular recording, I will be paying attention more to my notes than I will be the live stream, and I'll try to do as best as I can. But like I said, if I miss something, I miss something. I'm sorry. We'll do the best I can. So bear with me. How are you guys all doing tonight? That's the first thing I'd like to do as I pull up my notes here. Go ahead and tell me how you're doing. That's better. Good man. Okay. Bigman0909 says, good man, how are you? I'm from the UK. Well, I'm glad to have you here tonight. I really am. He's about to go to sleep. Oh, well, don't worry, because as I have done in each and every one of these live streams, I leave them up so you will not miss anything as I continue this. So it's not like you're going to miss anything. You can just go ahead and rewind and watch it all the way through. And like I said, if I don't respond to you live, leave the comments down here in the comment section below. I will reply to you then. I'd love to hear from you. Will I have illustrations for Math Doesn't Suck this time? Probably not. As for the vocabulary, probably not any illustrations there either. But I want you guys to check out. I did some more thumbnails. I did thumbnails for the first 30 lessons of HTML. I know you're like, whoa, you did. Yes, I did. The second thing I did thumbnails for, I had done a video called ACPI, and there's a new thumbnail on it. And also there is a brand new thumbnail on the Joint Photographic Experts Group video. So I hope you will check that out. We have a third person in here tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please let me know who you are, because I will not know. So anyway, how is life in the UK? I have never been to the UK, so I know nothing about it. How's the coronavirus in America treating you guys? Well, I live in a state where there's hardly any at all. I'm not saying we don't have any cases. I'm just saying it's very low in my particular state. Some states in the United States are getting hurt pretty bad. If you live in a bigger state like Texas, California, New York City, well, you think to yourself, man, there's like 8 million people plus in New York City. Think about that. That's practically its own state. Now, I'm not kidding you. It literally is practically its own state. They got hit really hard. What seems to be happening here is the more densely populated a state particularly is, like Texas, California, New Jersey, New York, they're getting hammered. I live in a state that is sparsely populated. So, CPT Gorilla says it's crazy. I'm glad you're here, CPT Gorilla. Thank you for joining us. But that's what I'm talking about here, is that the more densely populated a state is, the more rampant you see the conditions. The more sparsely populated, the less you see it. Now, does that mean that there is no corona around here? No, I didn't say that. But I'm just saying that you hardly ever hear about it where I'm at. You hardly hear about it at all. I mean, at first you did, but people don't even hardly talk about it anymore. But I know that places like Chicago, St. Louis, Kansas City, places that really have millions and millions of people living in them. CPT Gorilla says, what did you do in your life before? Study science, or were you a teacher? Okay, I was and I've always been a data processor first and foremost. Okay, I actually got a technical degree from a vocational center. Well, I spent the last 2 years of my high school doing that. Literally, that's how I did it. And I learned the language of COBOL. And COBOL, if you don't know, is an acronym for the Common Business-Oriented Language. That's what it is. And I also took classes in the Beginner's All-Purpose Symbolic Instruction Code. Those classes were taken simultaneously with COBOL. So I was learning 2 computer languages at the exact same time. Think about that. I actually tried to take a GW Basic interpreter and turn it into a full-blown COBOL compiler. I didn't completely succeed, but I came up with some interesting ideas. Really. And I actually taught myself HTML. And I've taught myself SVG. I've also taught myself XQuery. But anyway, I can say that outside of YouTube, I have never been a formalized teacher, but I have been a tutor. I have tutored kids before, but not really as far as a full-blown teacher. No, I've never done that. And with all the rules and regulations that the schools have nowadays, I have no desire to do that ever, really. So this is my platform. This is where I will teach from this day forward. And there you go. Anyway, Big Man 0909 says, you must have got paid a lot for this. Enjoy yourself. Go holiday once this is over. I wish I had been paid more than I have actually been paid over the years. But doing freelance projects for not wealthy people and a few other things, I really haven't been paid all that much. The most I've ever gotten gave me just enough money to buy all those books. That's about it, to be really honest. Beyond that, I really haven't been paid that much. What I'd like to do, first thing before I do anything else, like going on a holiday or whatever, is to actually finish videotaping those Looking for Lincoln and Route 66 wayside markers. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to my channel. You will find videos about both of them inside my channel, and you will learn about that. So, but that would be the first thing I'd like to do. After that, I would really love to go on a real good holiday and just have a load of fun. I'd love to do that. So there you have it. There you are. But thanks for the suggestion. I'd love that. So anyway, CPT Gorilla says, well, defo, check it out. Well, I'm glad you will. I'm glad you will. I hope that someday, see, this is what people don't realize, and I'm just going to pretend with this. When you're doing those Looking for Lincoln or Route 66 wayside markers, you're supposed to take a piece of paper like this, put it over the seal that's on everyone. They have all these signs have seals on them. Okay, every last one of them. You're supposed to put a piece of paper over it. And you're supposed to take a pencil like this, and you're supposed to pencil rub just like that, and it puts an image on there, and that's how that works. So anyway, I have a fourth person in here. Whoever you are, I welcome you. Well, I had a fourth person. I hope that fourth person comes back. I hope that person comes back. Thank you very much for coming in here. Let me know who you are. Oh, and well, we're back down to 2, but okay. No problem there. So whoever's coming in, let me know who you are. Let me know what you're doing. Anyway, so, but I hope that when you guys track down these signs, you'll pencil rub the seals. I don't pencil rub them for you. I just show you where they are. You have to go pencil rub them. So there you go. But I told you guys I was going to do some reviews. Now, the main reason why I actually record these with a Kodak EasyShare is that I don't want people to have to go through an entire live stream just to find all my comments for their particular video. That way they can actually go through the video. They can go through my video playlist, and they can find the the video that focuses directly on them, and then they can go on and respond that way. It's a good way for them not have to go through the entire live stream to find out where I was talking about them. And that's what I do. So anyway, we're going to start with something easy here. Let me go ahead and click that. I have a little timer thing on my web browser, and after about 5 minutes, it closes a tab. Of course, you can always reopen the tab, but it will close the tab, and it saves up a bunch of RAM. With Linux, that's not a real big issue. With Windows, on the other hand, it becomes a great big issue. And I just installed it on the Google Chrome web browser. So, and that web browser works both on Windows and on my Linux. So the features are there for both of them. All right, so we're going to start with something simple. We're going to start now. Before I say one more thing, I am going to start a series of tutorials on smartphones, specifically the smartphone I have right now, which is the Samsung J3 Orbit. And the icons and everything on this are a little different than the ones that I had for my last smartphone. And I will go through, it's a series of videos I will go through. This seems to be a very popular thing on my YouTube. I'm not kidding you. I have had a lot of people check out my Tracfone smartphone tutorial over the years. I know it wasn't that many years that I've had it up there, but I had it up there for a couple of years. They really checked that out. So I thought, okay, let's update this. And we'll be doing that tonight as well. So at least I will be doing the notes for it. When I'm done, then I will put the illustrations in that and show them to you. And I will have some illustrations on that one. Okay, but we are going to begin tonight with the video response wars. Both Survival on a Budget Made Easy and Crazy Josh Cravey entered the contest, so we're going to call it a tie. And I'm going to review 2 videos from each one of them for this tie. Okay, here we go. I don't want to take a picture of myself. I had that set up so well. Let's try that again, shall we? There, that's... Good evening, everyone. It is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and I am here once again to declare the winner of the video response wars this week, which happens to be none other than Crazy Josh Cravey and Survival on a Budget Made Easy. Both of them enter my contest, and both of you are going to be winners tonight. That's right, folks. We got a tie tonight. So I'm going to take 2 of your videos, 2 of Crazy Josh Cravey's and 2 of Survival on a Budget Made Easy's, and I am going to review them here. So congratulations, Crazy Josh Cravey and Survival on a Budget Made Easy. You have won this contest. So let's go first of all to Crazy Josh Cravey. He says he has a video 50 hours without sleep. So I got some questions for you. Why in the heck did you stay awake for 50 hours? Did you notice a loss of motor reflexes during this lack of sleep? I used to have a collection of McDonald Land glasses. I don't have them anymore. The main reason was I was in the middle of a move and I decided to give them away rather than have them break. So, do you have, I thought that was what you had in your video. I hope I was right on that. Do you have the whole set? Did you have to order your ukulele, or did you just go to the store somewhere or maybe some thrift store and just buy one? I don't know. Did you lose anything while you stayed awake for such a long period of time? Now, I know from personal experience, if I stay awake about 15 hours, I start losing things. Okay? And I have been awake sometimes as high as 15 hours. And I tell you, that's not pleasant. I can tell you that. I can't even imagine what 50 would be like. I mean, 15 is bad enough for me. 50, I can't even imagine what that would be like. How much time did you spend with your dog during this time? I'd like to know that as well. All right, now let's move down just a little bit. Oh, come on. Okay, the next video I'm going to review is Testing My Ancestry. Have you ever attended an Irish festival? Well, do you have like a picture of a four-leaf clover, or maybe like a little figurine of a four-leaf clover sitting on some shelf somewhere, or maybe you have some four-leaf clover pillow or something like that? Do you have anything like that? All right. Have you ever dined at a fancy French restaurant? How much did this kit cost you anyway? How long did it take you to fill out the website details? And did you have to special order the kit, or did you just go to the store and pick one up? Do you know the components of the liquid that you use to mix with your saliva? Yeah, I know that was kind of gross. I'm glad you didn't have to pay for the postage to send the sample back to Ancestry.com. I'm really glad you didn't have to do that. How long did it take you to recover from your illness? I noticed in your video you were sick part of it. So how long did it take you to recover from that? Did you get stuck in rush hour traffic as you traveled to the post office? Because I know you probably had a little bit of a trip there. So I can only imagine you getting stuck in rush hour traffic trying to get to the post office. So let me know in the comments below the answers to those questions, or just make a video response. I'd love to hear from you. All right. Now then, as I said, this was a tie this week. So we're going to go on to Survival on a Budget Made Easy. You entered this video into my contest. It's entitled 1 Million Views, Q&A, and a Story. Now, I want to tell you that there are hyperlinks to all four of these videos down here in the comments below. All right. First of all, I wanted to congratulate you on reaching 1 million views. I know that's no easy task. I'm pretty close myself, but of course, it's taken me a lot longer to do that than it has you. And primarily because I'm an educational channel and you are kind of a helpful handyman type channel. And I think that people are, a do-it-yourself channel type thing. So I can see why people would watch you more than they'd watch me. But anyway. However, I have not reached 1 million views yet, but I have reached 1 million watch time minutes. That is actually true. I'm more impressed that you reached the 1 million milestone in just 3.5 years. It has taken me 11 years to reach those milestones. I have 900,000 plus views and over 1 million minutes of watch time. And what really impresses me more is you don't have near as many videos on your channel as I do on mine. I have over 4,000. You don't even have half that, and you're doing well. You're really doing well. So I have to say, congratulations. You're doing very, very well. Good work. Okay? What was the most unique food from Dollar Tree that you've ever reviewed? I know you're not going to do this anymore, but over the years, I'm sure you have found plenty of unique foods at Dollar Tree. What was the most unique one you have ever reviewed? Okay. What is the toughest do-it-yourself project that you plan to present on your YouTube channel? Okay. You said you had a bunch of do-it-yourself projects that you were going to present in the not-so-distant future. What's the toughest one you're going to face? I'd like to know that. How large was the rabbit? You had mentioned a rabbit. I wanted to know how large the rabbit was. What brand of microphone did you buy? And how's it working out for you? Maybe you could do a do-yourself review of that. Now, the next video that you entered was a product review. It's number 112. It's a PC gaming computer chair. I thought it was cool. and it was relatively inexpensive for such a cool chair. Did you have to special order the chair? How heavy is the chair? And I can tell you what, mine, when I had to put mine together, was not exactly light. I can't even imagine what yours was like. What is your favorite video game? How does this chair massage your back? There is a special massaging feature on it. And I noticed in the video that this thing is powered by USB. How long is that cord? I mean, I hate to think you have real short cords, so you have to just sit there like a rigid little soldier. It'd be really nice to know that you had a really long cord you could work with it. I'm sure that they probably have cords that you could buy that are really, really long that can actually power your massaging feature on your chair. Or maybe there's some special detachable thing that you could detach it on the chair itself so you could actually move somewhere for a real quick second and then come back and reattach and start your massager up again. So I don't know. One of the things I always notice when you buy chairs like this, or with anything else for that matter, is that the instructions aren't necessarily written in English. Were your instructions written in English, and did they have instructions in other languages as well? I'd like to know that as well. How long did it take you to assemble the chair? Did it come with the tools necessary to assemble the chair? Mine actually did. I actually had tools that came with the chair, and I was able to put the chair together with the tools provided. I noticed you got your toolkit, so I'm still going, I wonder if the chair actually came with the tools or he just went ahead and got extra tools anyway. So anyway, please let me know in the comments below or make a video response. Either way, let me know the answers to those questions. Anyway, I wanted to congratulate both Crazy Josh Cravey and Survival on a Budget Made Easy for this particular set of entries. You did very well. Alrighty. Well, I want to thank you both very much for watching this particular video, and I'm looking forward to your responses, and I will tell you more in a future video, so I would like for the both of you to stay tuned. Amit Jane, hey, I would happily donate to you if you can do a video about on the dark web. Do you know much about it? I know absolutely nothing about the dark web. If I had more time, I'd do some heavy-duty research on it. But right now, I am trying to get my ratings up so I can get back on the partnership program. Once I get back on the partnership program, I would be thrilled and delighted to do a research on the dark web, get whatever facts I could, so on and so forth, and just do a whole massive presentation. So let's first get me back on the partnership program so I can do something like that. There's a lot of stuff I'd like to do once I get back on the partnership program. I really would. So there's your answer there. I thank Amit Jane for stopping by and letting me know all that. I'd like to hear more from all you guys, so please keep coming in. All right. Now, we have more video responses to do. This video response is going to go out to the beautiful Golden Hour, and that's because you uploaded a video entitled My Beautiful Vintage Shelf and Brass Candelabra Holder and Brass Mirror New Decorations. I watched your video and I decided to ask you a few questions about your video. What is the name of your cat? How large is your shelf? How long are the candles in your candelabra? Okay, I couldn't measure them, and they look pretty long to me, to be honest. Does the bell actually ring when you pick it up and shake it? Does it actually have a little thing on the inside that actually makes the thing ring? Because I know sometimes those bells, those little tiny trinket bells, they won't have the little thing inside to make it actually ring. It's just like a decoration rather than something that you would actually take up and ring. All right. How did you attach your shelf to your wall? I mean, was it attached with nails? Was it attached with those little plastic glue pieces. You put the plastic glue pieces on there and put the shelf on top of that. How was it attached? Who painted the painting that is next to your shelf? Now, you had mentioned that it's a mirror slash painting. I know that's a very nice mirror and it looks great, but there's a painting inside. I want to know if it was painted by a famous artist or whether it was just maybe you did it yourself. I don't know. I have no idea. So let me know in the comments below who painted that, if you can even tell. All right. Well, I wanted to thank you very much for watching this particular presentation, and I look forward to hearing from you. Now, if you are not the beautiful golden hour and you're watching this video right now, I fully recommend that you go over to the Beautiful Golden Hour's YouTube channel, watch her videos, rate her videos, comment on her videos, subscribe to her channel if you'd like, and make sure when you do to tell her that the Speed Learner sent you. All right, I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Oh, okay. Well, we still got one person in the live stream. All right. All right, here we go. This video response is going to go out to the Firefox Beast, and that's because you uploaded a video entitled Skyrim Episode 1, The Start of a New Adventure. I watched your video, at least most of it that is, and I decided to ask you a few questions about your video. On what game system are you playing Skyrim? What is the goal of Skyrim? What equipment do you recommend obtaining first in the actual game? What armor do you have when you begin this game? How large are the giants in this game? I mean, I don't know that you can actually, quote, measure them, but maybe you can give me a kind of a general idea how large these giants, I mean, they call them giants, so I'd imagine they're pretty large, but maybe you can have a general idea how much bigger they are than what your character is, that kind of thing. How many items can you collect at any one time? How many areas do you have to discover in this particular game? All right. Please leave the answers to any and all these questions down here in the comments below. And if you happen not to be Firefox Beast and you're watching this video right now, feel free to go over to Firefox Beast's YouTube channel, watch his videos, rate his videos, comment on his videos, subscribe to his channel if you like, and more importantly, tell him that the Speed Learner sent you. All right, I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Whew. You guys holding on there? All right, because we got more to go. All right. Okie dokie. All righty. Now, here comes the next one. Are you guys ready? This video response is going to go out to SDSBBQ, and that's because you uploaded a video entitled Raised Bucket Garden 2020 Full Garden Tour Week 3. I watched your video and I decided to ask you a few questions about your video. What type of wood did you use to create the planter boxes? Did you have to special order the Did you have to special order the dill and basil seeds? Okay. Did you have to add special nutrients to the soil before planting the dill and basil? If I recall correctly, pumpkin plants require a lot of water. If I'm wrong on this, please let me know, because it just seems that with the pumpkins getting to be that big, they would probably need lots and lots of water. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because you had tomato plants, cherry tomato plants, in the same soil with the pumpkin. And my question to that is, do the cherry tomato plants interfere with the growth of the pumpkin plant? And how will you use the lavender? Feel free to leave the answers to any and all these questions down here in the comments below. And if you happen not to be SDS BBQ and you're watching this video right now, feel free to go over to SDS BBQ's YouTube channel, watch his videos, rate his videos, comment on his videos, subscribe to his channel if you'd like, and more importantly, tell him that the Speed Learner sent you. All right, I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Woo. Okay. This video response is going to go out to Valerie Reese, and that's because you uploaded a video entitled Food Lion Haul. I watched your video and I decided to ask you a few questions about your video. How large were the bananas and the cantaloupe? Do they place a lot of caramel flavoring in the rice cakes? I know from personal experience of eating rice cakes that some rice cakes don't hardly have any flavor at all, and they are tough to eat. Not tough in the way it would break your teeth or nothing like that. It's just, ew. You're just eating plain rice. Okay, nothing's worse in the line of eating than to actually eat plain rice, unless, of course, you're eating calamari or you're eating hot jalapenos or something. I don't know. All right. Did they have a 2-for-1 special on the peanut butter Chex? I saw the pepperoni in your video. Are you going to make a homemade pizza or something else with that pepperoni? Because you can make other things with pepperoni besides a homemade pizza. Are you going to add seasoning to the French fries? And if so, what kind of seasoning are you going to add? All right, feel free to leave the answers to any and all these questions down here in the comments below. And if you happen not to be Valerie Reese and you're watching this video right now, feel free to go over to Valerie Reese's YouTube channel, watch her videos, rate her videos, comment on her videos, subscribe to her channel if you'd like, and more importantly, tell her that the Speed Learner sent you. All right, I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. All right. Well, we still got one person in here. That's great. I've gotten 3 thumbs up on this video right now, and that's fantastic. But anyway, one of the things I'm going to start doing with this YouTube channel, I have had some pretty decent responses with me reviewing music videos. And I'm going to review a few of them tonight, and I'm going to review them in just a minute. But I'm going to take a brief pause here, and I shall be right back. And when I do, I'm going to review about 3 songs, and I'm hoping that will get my ratings up as well, because we got a lot more to cover tonight. Yep. It's going to be a long live stream, so I hope you guys have a lot of endurance, because I'm going to run a long live stream tonight. And you know when I'm talking vocabulary, and I talked about this at the beginning of my video, when I'm talking vocabulary, I'm talking vocabulary. You're going to get a vocabulary lesson tonight. Big one. So I want you to stay tuned. I'll be right back. right. I'm glad you guys stuck around because there's more to come. Sorry about that brief interruption. Okay. Let's go back to my notes. Let's go down a little further. All right, here we go. This video response is going to go out to Billy Joel, and that's because you uploaded a music video entitled Piano Man. I love this song. I have heard this song for years. It's a part of my musical repertoire. I am glad you made it, but I have a few questions about your song, and so we're going to ask this as though I was reviewing the person that you described in the song, okay? And I forgot what the guy's name was. I think it was I don't remember. But anyway, so I'm going to be asking the Piano Man these questions, and hopefully you can answer them, or maybe some Billy Joel fan can answer them. We'll find out. Anyway, so here comes the questions. How long has the Piano Man been working at his current job? How old is the old man sitting next to the piano player? How long has the piano player and John been friends? Oh, that's right. The piano player's name is Bill, I think. Okay. Why does the piano player get his drinks for free? What did he do for John? Where would John rather be? Has John ever auditioned for a theater performance or a television show or even a movie? What books has Paul written? What is Dave's current rank in the Navy? How long has the waitress worked for John? All right. Feel free to leave the answers to these questions down here in the comments below. And if you happen not to be Billy Joel and you're watching this video right now, feel free to go over to Billy Joel's YouTube channel, because I know he has one. Watch his videos, rate his videos, comment on his videos, listen to all of his songs because he has some great music. And more importantly, tell him that the Speed Learner sent you. All right, I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Okay. All right, let's continue on. This video response is actually going to go to Ambrosia, the band Ambrosia, and they uploaded a music video a long time ago, and it was actually originally a song, and it was entitled How Much I Feel. And the hyperlink to that song is right down here in the description box below. And I watched your video. I also listened to your song over and over and over again. It's a great song. I love it. It's just wonderful. But I have a few questions about your song. So I'm going to address this as though I were talking to the guy that you're describing in the actual song, in the actual song, according to the lyrics. All right. So I'm going to address the guy that you're describing in the lyrics of your song. All right. Why didn't you ask your wife how the business started? You say you don't know how the business started. Well, why don't you just ask her and she'll tell you? At least I think so anyway. If you're the innocent party, why would you have to leave? Why don't you just say, hey, if you don't like this, go ahead, pack your bags. Bye. What sign were you looking for? I wouldn't be looking for any sign. If she ain't going to leave, I'll pack my bags and I'll leave. The end. Bye. Okay. If you broke up with her, why are you sleeping alone? Go find somebody else. There's plenty of fish in the ocean. I can assure you that. If you can afford them, hey, go ahead. All right. She accused you of infidelity that you are innocent of, and yet you yearn for her? Really? Oh no, if somebody accused me of infidelity, I'd be saying, I'm glad it's over. I might miss the person to some degree, but I'd be like, man, I now know why I had to go. Why are you living for her love when she has clearly rejected you? Hey, you don't like it? Bye. You're staying in the middle of what? You say you were staying in the middle. Well, staying in the middle of what? I'd like to know. And has she really realized how foolish she's been? You realized how much of a fool you were, but did she realize how much of a fool she was? And do you know that for sure? I mean, you might think she's realized, maybe she hasn't. You never know. Are you really friends when she has literally accused you of infidelity? You might be casual acquaintances. You might be cordial to each other, but really friends? Why would you tell your ex that you still see her face? I mean, you have now been married to somebody else, and everything's going fine. Why would you tell her that? She doesn't need to know anything like that. Does she really deserve to know that? I don't think so. And what would that change by her knowing that? Really? I mean, you're married to somebody else now. The only thing it's going to do for her is just let her know how weak you are. Please. All right. Feel free to leave the answers to any and all these questions down here in the comments below. And if you happen not to be Ambrosia and you're watching this video right now, feel free to go over to Ambrosia's YouTube channel, which I know they have one. Watch all their music videos, listen to their songs, comment on their videos, rate their videos, subscribe to their channel if you'd like, and more importantly, tell them that the Speed Learner sent you. All right, I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. I wonder how many of you people actually thought about any of this as you went through the song. Say, that's an interesting way to think. Anyway, let's continue on, shall we? This video response is going to go out to Don McLean, and that's because you uploaded a music video, and I know that most of you are thinking, hey, he loaded up a music video entitled American Pie. He did. But shortly thereafter, he actually made another song, which became another music video called Vincent. A lot of people have actually reviewed American Pie. It is a good song. It is a very good song, and no wonder it hit #1 status. No question about it. But a lesser-known song that also did really well was called Vincent. It's a good song. If you guys have missed it, I'm sorry you have. You should go check it out, okay? But anyway, I did have some questions about Vincent, and that's why I'm asking tonight. All right, so here are my questions, Don McLean. All right, now I'm going to be addressing this as though I was talking to the person you're describing in your song. Okay, it's not really directed to you, but it's directed to the person that you're describing in your song. Okay, why is there darkness in your soul? What was Vincent van Gogh trying to say to you specifically? Who was Vincent van Gogh trying to set free? Do you know? Why weren't they listening to Vincent van Gogh? Do you know? Why were the faces lined in pain? Do you know? Why do you think they will listen now? They weren't listening before. Why do you think they're going to listen now? All right, feel free to leave the answers to any and all these questions down here in the comments below. And if you happen not to be Don McLean and you're watching this video right now, feel free to go over to Don McLean's YouTube channel, watch his videos, rate his videos, comment on his videos, subscribe to his channel if you'd like, and more importantly, tell him that the Speed Learner sent you. All right, I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Woo! All righty. I told you I'd review 3 songs. And now I'm going to go back up here. All right. I'll check one more thing. We got a second person in the room. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please let me know who you are. I have no idea who you are at this point. So please, if you're in the room, let me know who you are so I know exactly who I'm talking to. I'd love to talk to you. All righty. We are continuing a live stream tonight. I have already reviewed a bunch of videos, including some music videos. And now we're going to start a new tutorial. One of the things I have noticed is that my Tracfone smartphone tutorial from way back when has been very popular. And I thought, well, if that's popular, then we're going to do something more. And we're going to do it. All right. Now, let me check one thing before I do that. Okay. Okay. Let's continue on. Good evening, everyone. It is once again Ted, the Speed Learner, and tonight I'm going to start a series of videos on this. This is my Samsung J3 Orbit smartphone. Okay, and this is the first video in this video series. And before I get into this, I wanted to let you know that I'm running a live stream right now. I have my laptop right next to me, and I'm reading the notes from my laptop. And I'm going to show you guys in this series of videos how to actually operate this Samsung J3 Orbit smartphone. And there were just so many details, I decided not to do it in just one video. I wanted to make a whole video series about it. That way you can see what all the features are on this Samsung J3 Orbit phone. Okay. So, first thing I have to tell you guys is that the phone actually has 3 buttons on it. And the first one's over here. It's on the right-hand side. This is the power button. When you have to turn the phone on for the very first time, you're going to have to hold this power button down until the splash screen turns on, because this thing has a splash screen. And after it turns on, just let go of the button. It will boot up. And then I'll tell you what to do next. But in the meantime, there are 2 volume buttons on this thing. One's volume up, and it's the top button. The other is right underneath it. It's the volume down button. All right. This thing has 2 cameras. One's way up on top here, right where my finger is. And the other is, of course, on the back. And that way, you could actually take a picture of yourself. If you're aiming this like this, you get a picture of yourself. And if you want to take a picture of something else, say I want to take a picture of my laptop, I could aim this towards my laptop and take a picture of that. And I will show you how to do that later in this video series. Okay. So anyway, when you first switch on your smartphone, your phone will look like this. And I have an illustration. You're seeing it right now on your screen as you're watching this video. The green phone receiver on the left will allow you to make a call. The red camera symbol on the right will allow you to take a photo. Now, neither of these options will work until you have logged into your device. Okay, it's just saying that you have these features available to you, but you have to log in to actually use them. All right, so at the top of your phone, you will see the current time as well as the current date. You may also see other symbols. If you see the bird symbol, that's the Twitter symbol, and they're notifying you that there's a tweet that you should read. Okay, it's probably a tweet. You've probably followed somebody on Twitter, and that person has posted up a tweet and it's saying, hey, the person posted up a tweet, you haven't read it yet. All right. If you see a box with a letter F inside of it, it means that your phone is trying to tell you that somebody has made a Facebook post, one of your Facebook friends has left a post, and you ought to read it. Okay. If you see the YouTube play symbol on the top of your screen, that actually means that somebody has uploaded a video to YouTube, like myself, and you probably should go and watch that video. Okay. These are what they call push notifications. And there is a way to turn that feature off on your phone, and I will tell you how to do that in a later video. Okay. You may see other symbols on there. You may see the Instagram symbol, and that would tell you that somebody has uploaded a photo, or somebody has commented on one of your photos, or maybe liked one of your photos, or maybe they're doing a live stream on Instagram, which you can do. But whatever the case may be, that's where it is. And that's what it is. It's a push notification from Instagram. You may be receiving push notifications from TikTok, Snapchat. Doesn't matter. Okay. All right. Now, there are a few other symbols at the top of your smartphone. I used a green arrow to point to them. The first symbol is a speaker. This will show whether the speaker is muted or it'd be it's your phone's speaker. Whether the speaker is muted or you're actually able to listen to it. If the speaker is muted, then probably this thing has a vibrate mode, and it'll let you know through vibrations that you got some. Now, one of the other things you might see, and I'll go ahead and show this to you. Way back in the day, we used to have something called an answering machine. And it'll look like this. And now that's called voicemail. And you may see your voicemail on there. And if you do, that means somebody's left a voicemail message for you. If you see the phone receiver, then that means somebody's tried to call you, and you may want to call them back. Now, another thing you may see up here is a set of curved lines. These curved lines indicate that you are near a internet hotspot, okay? Like in your house. If you have Wi-Fi internet, that would indicate the Wi-Fi internet. And yes, I have Wi-Fi internet in my house. So when I'm in my house, it says, yep. Now, it may also reveal a Wi-Fi hotspot. And if it's a free hotspot, you can just log right on in. No big deal. If it's not a free Wi-Fi hotspot, you may not be able to log in. It's just like your friends. If you go to your friend's house, your friend may have a login for you so you can get in their internet. Whatever. Okay. Now, the next set of lines you'll see are vertical bars. They look like columns that you would see in a Roman Colosseum. That indicates that that is your wireless provider. Okay. And your wireless provider is where you'd be getting your internet from if you're not getting your internet from your Wi-Fi. Okay. And it's also how you send and receive phone calls. Okay. Now, the final symbol that I'll discuss here looks like a battery. And that's precisely what it's doing. It's telling you how much power your phone has left. And if that battery is low, you may want to recharge it. Okay. Now, if you swipe the screen upwards with your finger, you can unlock the phone. When you do, the phone will ask you to type your password into the phone. And then the phone's keyboard will appear on the screen. Now, believe it or not, this phone is sophisticated. And if you buy a USB keyboard, you can actually, I believe it's Bluetooth, that thing. It would have to be a Bluetooth. You wouldn't do it through USB. You'd do it actually through Bluetooth. You could Bluetooth your keyboard to the phone. You should be able to do that. And I don't have such a keyboard yet, but I eventually will buy one, and then I'll be able to Bluetooth the keyboard. All right. Now, the smartphone keyboard will appear when you're trying to log in. Once you type your password into the phone, you will see this screen. Okay, you're actually seeing something on your as you're watching this video right now, you're actually seeing something on the screen. Look at the top of the screen. You will see a digital clock indicating the current time of day. If you've downloaded a weather app, like apparently I have by accident, the current conditions may be displayed on your screen. If you want to search for something on the internet using the Google search engine, just tap the search box I've highlighted with the yellow arrow. The smartphone keyboard will appear, and then you can type keywords into the search box. Actually, in this particular case, what's going to happen is that the Google search engine will appear on your screen, and you can actually type whatever you're trying to search for into that box. Now, if you tap the microphone, you can actually say what you want to look for. You would actually say aloud the keywords you're looking for, and then it will find it for you. Okay? All right. Now, obviously, if you're typing it in, once you type in all the keywords, what you're going to do is you're going to actually press the magnifying glass, which is, of course, the thing that triggers off the search. Okay. If you want to search for something on the internet using the Google search engine, okay. I already said that. You can also tap the microphone inside the search box, which I already told you about that too. If you tap the Google Play Store, you can find apps to download on your phone. Now, this can be kind of a good thing, but it can also be kind of a bad thing. Remember, there's not a whole heap of lot of random access memory in this phone. And remember, most of your apps will store onto the RAM of your phone. Okay, there's an internal RAM that it'll store onto. And so I would not store a whole bunch of apps on that. And for good reason. All right. Also keep in mind that there are already apps on this phone. You already get the YouTube app and you get the Facebook app. Okay, so if you store Twitter and Instagram and all these other apps, they take up an awful lot of space all by themselves. Then you go store a bunch of other apps on here, yeah, it can fill up pretty quick. So again, what happens is that if you store all those apps on there, they are constantly running in the background. They are constantly eating up RAM. And then what happens is at a certain point, the phone will slow down and eventually it just won't run at all. And try updating those things. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right. Now, in the next lesson, I will teach you how to make phone calls on your phone and how to operate the calendar on your phone. That's a little, raw. I will teach you how to make phone calls, but I will save the calendar thing for a different video. Okay, when I made these notes, I didn't make them very well. So, I will teach you how to make phone calls, and then in a later video, I will actually teach you how to use the calendar feature. All right. So, thank you very much for watching this presentation, and I will be uploading another episode of this in the not-so-distant future, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. So, what do you guys think about this so far? Let me know in the comments down below, or let me know in this live stream, whatever. Just let me know what you're thinking so far. All right. I'm now going to continue my video series on the Samsung J3 Orbit smartphone. Okay, this is part 2. And we're going to continue this video series with this. How do you call people using your smartphone? Start by tapping the telephone receiver icon on your screen. You will see a keypad on your screen. Now, when you tap the numbers on the keypad, the phone number you want to call will appear above the keypad. If you added a particular contact to your phone, the name of the contact will also appear above the keypad. Once you have typed the telephone number you want to call into the smartphone, just tap the telephone receiver icon to actually make the call. See, this thing does a call automatically like your home phone does. All right. So far, so good. But as you can see, the phone feature on your smartphone has a couple of extra options. If you tap the word recent, you will see the telephone numbers of the people who have tried to call you in the not so distant past. All right. If you tap the word contacts, you can add contact information about people who you call frequently. So how do you add a contact to your smartphone? First, tap the plus symbol. Your smartphone will ask you if you want to add the contact to your smartphone or to your email address. Okay. You can add the person's name, the place they work, their phone number, their email address, any groups that they are a member of, even a group that you've invented, their phonetic name. Yeah, sometimes you may want to add their phonetic name just to remember how to pronounce it, especially if you're talking about somebody that is not exactly from this country. Their nickname, their address, their relationship to you. Are they a family member? Are they a friend? Are they some kind of a girlfriend? Okay. Notes about the contact, web addresses or websites. It'd be web addresses of websites that they've actually created. Okay. And a ringtone that will let you know that it's actually that person calling and not somebody else. Yeah, you can have unique ringtones to this thing. In my next video, I will tell you how to operate the messenger feature on this smartphone. I want to thank you very much for watching this particular presentation on all these videos. And if you have any comments for me, go ahead and leave them down here in the comments below. And I will be uploading future episodes of this as time permits. So I definitely want you to stay tuned. You guys still hanging in there? I am so glad to hear that. I'm so glad to see that, actually. Okay. Now the more important stuff is going to come up. Hold on. Okay. Look at this, folks. A ton of notes for Danica McKellar's Math Doesn't Suck. All righty. I'm now going to continue my review of Danica McKellar's book, Math Doesn't Suck, with a discussion of periodicals. And if you guys do not know what a periodical is, go ahead and look it up. I am running a live stream, as I have mentioned before, and some of my other videos on this topic. And I have my laptop right here. I actually have written out notes this time. And I actually have my dry erase marker this time. The last time I had illustrations that I made in Microsoft Paint. This time I'm going to just use my dry erase marker because the subject matter is a lot simpler. Okay, so when I was young, periodicals were all the rage. Oh man, You're talking to a guy who actually had a subscription not only to Logic Problems, but also to Byte Magazine. Now, Byte Magazine no longer exists, and you can still get Logic Problems. No question about that. All right. But times have changed. And I know you published this book in 2008. I realize that. And it has now been 12 years since this book was actually released. But even back then, periodicals were not the big rage. People were still reading them to some degree, but nowadays people don't even touch them hardly at all. I mean, everything you want is on the internet. Shoot, you can get about the same amount of stuff. Just have one of these. So periodicals. I mean, have you ever noticed that? I think it's Newsweek. Newsweek just doesn't exist. If you go to a magazine shop or go try to find a newspaper or magazine shop and see how well you find them, because they hardly even exist at all now. Bookstores, yeah, right. You go to a non-metropolitan area, good luck finding a bookstore. Yeah. And of course, the attention spans of young adults today, it's just not the same as it was when I was a young adult. I mean, I thought I had attention span problems when I was a kid. Nothing compared to today. So I would rather use an example of buying an inexpensive smartphone than using the example of buying a periodical, because unless even the ones like they used to have magazines, and I know because I used to go to the bookstore and I used to buy copies of Byte Magazine before I got a full-blown subscription. And I can tell you right now, they used to have things like Tiger Beat and all this other stuff. You don't even see that anymore. So to say buying a periodical as your example in this particular chapter of your book, I'm sitting there going, who does that anymore? Especially now. That just doesn't happen. So now I want to go through this. I don't know if I have this up here or not, but I'm going to try this. Yeah, I do. I'm going to try to illustrate this a little bit better so everybody gets this, because I tell you right now, a lot of young adults are watching me right now. So we're going to go through this. Imagine, if you will, Roman columns. Okay, and if you don't know what a Roman column is, all you have to do is go on to the internet, do a Google search of old Roman buildings, and you'll see the Roman columns. Even in the Greek times, they had Greek columns too. Okay, so the Greeks had them, then the Romans, so on and so forth. That's not the point. Imagine, if you will, a Roman column full of these. These are pennies. Okay. Now, let's imagine you put a ton of these in one Roman column. Now, the next one, you also have a ton of these, but there are less of these than there are of these. And I'll tell you why, because this dime right here is worth 10 times as much as this penny. Okay. Now, imagine a third Roman column with a bunch of these in it. Okay. So, as this penny is worth 10 times less than this dime, or you can say this dime is worth 10 times more than this penny, so is this dollar worth 10 times more than this dime. Okay? That's why there are not as many of these dollars as there are as these dimes. Okay, let's say you have a column full of dimes. To make the same amount of money in the third column as in the second, there would be 10 times less of these than there would be of these in the columns. Okay. So to make it really basic, this dime is worth 10 times as much as this penny, and this dollar is worth 10 times as much as this dime. And that's how our mathematics is based, literally. It's all about columns and what's in those columns. Okay? That's why they had the ones place, the tens place, and the hundreds place, and so on and so forth. All right? And this is done because of our base 10 number system. We have 10 digits on our hands. Okay. Now, this is very, very important. Now, I want you to think of decimals like a mirror. Okay? You're doing the exact opposite, kind of what you would do with things on this side of the decimal point. Okay? As you take one step to the left, as you continue to take one step to the left, you're going to increase the value by 10. The penny worth just a certain amount, the dime worth 10 times as much, the dollar worth 10 times as much, and the $10 bill worth 10 times as much. You get the idea? Now, the opposite is true as you move the opposite end of the scale. When you're talking about moving to the right on decimal places, you start with the one that's most valuable, and then the one next to it is worth 10 times less, and the next one next to it is worth 10 times less, and so on and so forth. So the further you move to the right, you have to subtract 10 times. You're adding 10 times as you move to the left, but you're subtracting 10 times as you move to the right. It's that simple. It's like an ocean. The further you go down, the less oxygen you have. The further you go up and you go up to the oxygen, the more oxygen you have. Okay, and as you move towards the sky, you're going to have a lot of oxygen. Until, of course, you try to go to the stars, and then you won't. But that's another story for another time. So, anyway, now another thing you had brought up was why would we put a 0 before a decimal? Now, I will go ahead and research that and make another video out of that just simply because I can, and I'm going to. And I will show you the mathematical reason why they actually put a 0 before the decimal point. You also have to keep in mind one thing. Zeros at that time, when they first invented mathematics, was called the absence of value. It wasn't just called a 0. It was actually called the absence of value. All right, they got to be real tricky. Now, you had brought up Olympic gymnastics. Well, you actually brought up the subject of gymnastics, but I'm going to bring up the subject of Olympic gymnastics because I was alive in 1980, and I actually watched the 1980 Olympics on television, which I don't know. I know you're pretty close to my age, but you're actually a little younger than I am, so it's very unlikely that you actually watched the Olympics, or even if you did, you probably didn't know what was going on. Whereas I was old enough to know what was going on. All right. So when it comes to Olympic gymnastics, the 1980 Olympics had some big time scandals, specifically when it came to gymnastics. Now, I'm sure you probably don't remember Nadia Comaneci, but she was involved in a scandal. It wasn't against her at all. They had given points to somebody else when they should have given it to Nadia Comaneci, and they had a big scandal about that. And I actually have a hyperlink to that scandal right down here in the comments below. Now, you talk about memorable. You read that, you'll have memorable out the wazoo. But I know you probably didn't know anything about that. Now, when it comes to the greater than symbol, and I'll show you this. Forget the crocodile. Forget it. This is about Rich Avenue and Poor Street. The greater than symbol will always point to Poor Street. Okay? That's where it'll point. It'll always point to Poor Street. Now, this is opposed to the less than symbol, which I will draw here, which is pointing to Rich Avenue. That's all they have to remember. No crocodile necessary. You don't have to take a bite out of these people. Just remember Poor Street and Rich Avenue. Everybody's going to remember that. I promise you. Okay. Not everybody's been in personal contact with a crocodile, but I guarantee you they have been in contact with Rich Avenue and Poor Street. There you go. Now, I will agree with you that your moving hands technique about decimals is a good idea. I have to say that was a very good idea. So I'll give you that one. Now, what about adding and subtracting decimals? Well, just imagine soldiers lining up. Have you ever watched a military parade? Yeah. All you have to do is just imagine. Well, let me put it up here. It's just make sure that the decimal point is lined up like little soldiers in a line. That's all they have to do. All they have to do is memorize the military soldier lineup thing, and then they can get this. It's really that easy. So anyway, I think in your book you make it a tad more complicated than it actually has to be. But anyway, I see we have another person on our live stream. As I mentioned, I'm running a live stream right now, and whoever it is, let me know who you are, and I'll be happy to say hello. Anyway, when it comes to taxes, if you're trying to figure out taxes on a particular item, this is what you're going to do. You're going to remember the 10%, the 5%, and the 1%. These are the three numbers that are most critical when you're trying to figure out a tax on an item. Let's say you have a $10 item. Okay? And you wanted 10% of that. Okay, all you have to do is move your decimal place one to the left. So instead of $10, you just have $1. And to show you that real simply, okay, 10% of $10 is $1. Simple as that. Okay. Now, what about 1%? If you want to figure out 1% of an item, what you're going to do is when it comes to $10 and you want to 1%, you just move the decimal place right over here. So now you have 10 cents. Okay. That's real easy so far. Now, what if you want to know 5% of an item? That's kind of easy too. Let's find out 10% of an item, which of course is $1. Like that. That 10% of $10 is $1. Now let's just divide it by 2. And when we do, we get 50 cents. Okay, so 5% of a $10 item is 50 cents. No, that's not right. That's not right. No, that's not right. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Sorry, that is correct. Okay, I'm right on this. Okay, so if 1% of a $10 item is 10 cents, then 5% of that item is 50 cents, and 10% of that item is $1. Okay, so let me say that one more time just to be clear. Of a $10 item, 1% is 10 cents, 5% is 50 cents, and 10% is $1. There you go. Just like that. Now you say, well, okay, what if your percent is 8%? Okay, well, you find 5% of the item and 1% of the item, take the 1% times 3 and add it to the 5%, and you got it. Okay, let me show you how that one works. All right, so what is 8% of $10? Well, we already got 50 cents. We already figured out 5%. Now, what's 10 cents times 3? Well, that's 30 cents. Well, 30 cents plus 50 cents is 80 cents. So 8% of $10 is 80 cents. Simple. That's it. Okay. Now, I would personally recommend that if you are paying more than 10% sales tax on anything in a store because of your state government, I would move out of the state. I honestly would not pay more than 10% in sales taxes. That's ridiculous. But see, that's not hard at all. And what you present in your book is a little more complicated than what it actually has to be. And so there you go. All right. Now, let's talk about when you're talking about dividing decimals. You're talking about dividing decimals. Let me talk about this for a second. You were trying to show divisor, dividend, and quotient. Let me make this a lot simpler. Okay? We're going to go into the comic book section for this one. We're going to imagine the diabolical Dr. Divisor, and he wants a dividend. Now, what is a stock dividend? Well, I'm going to tell you what a stock dividend is. Let's say you are buying stock in a particular corporation. Now, that corporation actually makes profit. Now, they could reinvest that profit back into their company, or they could actually give a portion of that back to you. And for every share of stock you own in that company, you get a certain amount of a dividend. So these dividends are worth something. So let's imagine that we have, since you're wanting to use this like this, let's imagine a bank. Okay. Now here's the bank building. That's the bank building. This is the vault right here. This is the vault. Okay. Now Dr. Divisor is sitting right here, and he wants the dividend that's in the bank. Okay. He wants the money that would normally be given to the stockholders. He wants it. Well, who comes in to stop him? Why, none other than Captain Quotient. There's Captain Quotient. Now, isn't that a much more fun way to remember all this stuff? And don't tell me the kids don't read comic books, because I know they read comic books quite a bit. Gosh, I get advertisements for them all the time. Okay? Now, we have to cover one more thing before this particular episode is done. I did a video a long time ago on the words numerator and denominator. There they are, numerator and denominator. Okay. Now, we're going to say that the numerator is the bank. And where are all the stock dividends stored? Well, in the bank. They're stored in the vault. Okay, this is the bank vault. The numerator is your bank vault. Now, what about the denominator? Well, the denominator is where Dr. Divisor is. Okay, he's underneath the safe. Okay, he's trying to come in on the safe from the bottom. Makes it a lot easier to remember. Now, I had somebody ask me the other day what I thought about your whole book. Up to this point, you've had some good ideas, and I had to agree with some of those good ideas, but some of them I'm like, really? I can make this a lot simpler. So overall, I think the book's okay, but I think that you could have used a lot better ideas, and I just clearly illustrated those better ideas. So for the person who commented to me, I honestly think that this book is, I would give it maybe a C plus or a low B, because there are some ideas that I have come up with that are a lot better than what's in this book. But I haven't finished reading it yet, so far that's what I would give. I would either give it a B minus or C plus, because yeah, some decent ideas, but I think I could have done better on some things. Some things I couldn't, some things I could. So there you go. All right, so I wanted to thank you very much for watching this particular presentation. I will continue reviewing your book, and hopefully from what I'm saying to you, you might write a better math book. And if you want to use some of my ideas, let me know, and we'll make some kind of arrangement. All right. In the meantime, I want to thank you very much for watching this presentation. I hope you have a great evening. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. All right, I see now that I got 2 people in here. All righty, whoever you are, let me know who you are so I can talk to you, whatever. I never know who's in here. So please let me know. All right. Let's get that off my screen. Well, I wanted to thank whoever was staying in here all this time for coming in and watching all this. And this is the final part of this video, of this live stream, that is. And this is going to actually be the longest part of this video. So I want to thank you guys for enduring so much, because you're hitting the big one now. Oh, yeah. So what have I got for you this time? Well, if you'll recall correctly, I told you guys that I would be doing a vocabulary lesson with you guys, and it was going to be based out of stuff out of this book. And the title of this book is Jesus, Justice, and the Reign of God, and it is by William R. Herzog II. It is a good read. I want you guys to read this, but you're going to need a vocabulary lesson for this, and there's some other books that you will have to read to truly comprehend what's in this thing. And no, I have not read the other books yet, but I'm going to. I want to thank everybody. I see I have 4 people now. I had 4, now I have 3. So whoever's in here, please let me know who you are, because I have no idea who you are. Please let me know. Okay, so for the vocabulary for tonight. All right. First of all, the first book I'm going to recommend to you. Now, all of these books I'm going to have, because of this live stream, I'm going to have links to every one of these books. They're hyperlinks. I know they are, but you're smart students. So go to these hyperlinks, and I may actually just go ahead and copy them right here. Oops. Would you just stop that? No, I don't want to. No, I do not want to do that. Fine, we'll do it that way. Okay, there's some steamer boy. He says, I'm thinking the wrong class, but go on. Okay, well, the first book I'm going to recommend to you guys to read is called The Quest for the Historical Jesus. Go ahead and read that. And it is by Albert Schweitzer. And the next book will be entitled Sociology of Early Palestinian Christianity by Gerd Tyson. Or Thiessen. I'm not really sure whether it's Thiessen or Tyson. We will find out. All right. Again, if you are not watching this live, you will find the links, the hyperlinks down here in the description below. I'll make sure that that's done. Another book that I will recommend is The Goal of Jesus and His Disciples. If you can get a hold of this, great. It's hard to get a hold of. Is this a Christian class then? Well, this last segment is, but the rest of the live stream has not been. I wanted to do this part because I wanted to see how many of my students would carry on and would go on with this, because this is high-powered education. This is the really good stuff. This is the kind of stuff that the idea is I want you to be able to read books like this. I really do, okay? And so I try to build up you people's skills with other stuff to get you to the point where you can actually read something like this. This is not an easy read. I have spent several hours trying to read this thing. I had to look up a bunch of vocabulary words for this. So what I'm trying to show you guys is that there are materials in this thing that you really need to know if you're going to read something like this. This is not an easy read, folks. I'm not kidding you. This was a really tough read for me, and if it's tough read for me, I can just about imagine what it's going to be like for you. So, like I said, everything I covered up to this point was to prepare you for this. And you can read a book like this. You really can, but you got to know your stuff. That's why I give you all these tutorials so that you can finally read something like this. How many of you people can actually read this? I'd like to see you try. But anyway. So. All right. Perfect. The next book I'll recommend to you is a book by a guy named William Reed. And if you can find it and get a hold of it, I recommend you reading it. I have not read it myself yet, but I will eventually. So I want you to go ahead and read that one as well. So, like I said, you can read these kind of books if you have the right kind of vocabulary in your head, but if you don't have the right kind of vocabulary, you can't read them. So I'm going to prepare you with some vocabulary. So this next part will be a bunch of vocabulary words and their meanings. So how do you read a book like this one? How do you do it? I mean, if it's got that much vocabulary, how are you going to do that? It's called Latin etymology. If you know your Latin and Greek etymologies, you can read a book like this rather easily. If you don't, you're going to struggle with this. So the idea is to get you guys prepared to read something like this. And that's exactly what I'm going to do tonight. No separate video for this. You're just going to have to go all the way to the end and learn this stuff. I hope you guys take some notes. Periphery is a word. It is from the Greek word around or to surround. is the outward boundary of a particular subject. And if I mispronounce some of these words, I'm sorry. I'll go ahead and that's the first word. I just told you that one. Charisma, and like I said, if I mispronounced that one, I am sorry. There's the second word. I got 4 people in here right now, so let me know who's here, and I will go ahead with this. It's from the Greek word charisma, which means some kind of a proclamation. Okay? It means you're proclaiming something. You're preaching something. Get the picture? What is a Gestalt? Well, a Gestalt is from the German word for form or shape. It literally means something that is composed of many parts. Okay? It would be like an engine, which is composed of many parts. But in a book, it would be a big subject that's composed of little subjects. Okay? What is a moribund? ILR SNC says hello back. What is a moribund? It is from the Latin word mori, which means demise, shall we say. Specifically, it comes from the Latin word moribundus, which means at the moment of somebody's demise. Okay? What's an epoch? An epoch comes from the Greek word epoche, and if I mispronounce that, I'm sorry, which means some fixed moment in time. What is eschatological? Eschatological. Boy. Eschatological. Boy. Eschatological. Okay. Eschatological. That's a big word. What does that word actually mean? It's from the Greek word eskatos, which means literally the last one. In theology, it refers to what happens after you perish. Okay? What is incongruence? Oh, I misspelled that one. Hold on. That's the correct spelling of the word. What is incongruous? From the Latin prefix in, which means the opposite of, and the Latin word congruere, which is a verb, which means some kind of agreement. So it's the opposite of some kind of an agreement. What is dogmatic? Oh, we have a 5th person in here. Whoever you are, please let me know who you are so I can say hello. Dogmatic, someone who expresses an opinion as though it was a fact. They say, well, this is a fact, but really it's just their opinion. How about interpolated? Again, if I mispronounce anything, I want to apologize in advance. From the Latin prefix inter, which means between or among, and the Latin verb polare, which means to polish. Literally, it means to embellish a text, in this case, with new material. Ineffable. This word comes from the Latin prefix in, which means the opposite of, and the Latin prefix ex, which means out of. The Latin word fare means to speak. So the word literally means the opposite of speaking out, where you keep quiet when you probably shouldn't. Polemic. And once again, I want to apologize if I get any of these pronunciations wrong. I just know the definitions. From the Greek word polemikos, which means someone who is belligerent. In this case, it means a subject that is controversial. Iconoclastic. This one comes from the Greek word icon, which means image, and klastes, which means to break. In this particular case, it means someone who overthrows popular ideas. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this one. I'm just going to show you what it is. Geois. There's the next word. This one, it refers to some kind of a social middle class. Okay. You have your poor people, you have your middle class, you have your upper crust. Okay. What is a banal? B-A-N-A-L. Well, banal is some idea which isn't fresh or new. It's just something that everybody knows anyway. What's a pericopes? Uh-oh. Uh-huh. Okay. Cutting off the charts. This has been very informative. Thank you. I appreciate that. This word comes from the Greek prefix peri, which means around or surround, and the Greek word koptine, which means to cut. In this case, it means a selection of text that has been extracted from a book. Okay, it'd be almost like quoting a book. Perfunctory. Oh, that's better. Perfunctory. What does perfunctory mean? From the Latin prefix per, which means through, and the Latin word fungi, which means to perform. Something that is done routinely and without special attention. Like if you sew a lot. Interregnum. What does interregnum mean? From the Latin prefix inter, which means between, and regere, which means to rule or reign. Okay. Now, what is explicating? From the Latin prefix ex, which means out, and the Latin verb plicare, which means to fold. In this case, it means to thoroughly explain something. Now, in some of the books that I referred to you a little while back, they tell you that the debates in the Gospels were actually debates of the early church in disguise. Now, some of this is not actually true. They just kind of say that, and it's not really accurate, okay? These early books also said that Jesus was indifferent to all political, social, and economic conditions, which, of course, we know is not true. We have learned since then that the poor people of Galilee lived in a world of memories like the Exodus of Egypt. Now, think about that for a second. These people, these Jewish people, actually went to Jerusalem every year from Galilee and all the other surrounding areas to celebrate the Passover feast. That's reliving a memory every year. And they did these kind of festivals all the time. And so that's how they lived. They did not live in a future tense. They lived in a past and somewhat present tense. Okay? They also considered prophetic traditions like the ones displayed by Elijah and Elisha. In other words, they celebrated those prophetic traditions. Okay? They embraced the social ethics of both Moses and the social visions of the prophets like Elijah and Elisha. That's what they did. So you can see they were kind of a different people than what you're used to. Okay. Golly, have you guys learned enough yet? Woo. All right, I have a sixth person in here. I don't know who's all in our group. Out of this world. Hello, hello, hello. I'm glad to see you. What do you guys feel really educated now? That was the whole point of this live stream, was to really get you guys good and educated. I'd like that. Now, I know that very informative. Well, I thank you very much, and I'm glad you watched all. If you've missed anything, please rewind this and go through it again, and you will see everything. All right. So who else is in here tonight? Because I see 6 people, and I know a couple of them that are in here, but I don't know all 6 of you. So please say hello. I'd like to know who you are. Woo. But I promise you guys a Grand Slam live stream, and this is it, man. This is a big one. So my future plans for this channel, and I'll tell you this: 1, you're going to see more thumbnails that are a little more fancy. That you're going to see. Secondly, Math Doesn't Suck Part 11 will be up soon. This smartphone tutorials, I've got to add the illustrations. That's going to take time, and that's a big project, and I'll get into that later. As for the video response wars, that will be up hopefully in the next day or two. Also, the all the reviews of all those other videos, they will be up soon as well. Now they got them recorded, they will be up. Exactly when, I can't tell you, but I will tell you they will be up, because I want them up as quick as possible. Another thing I will continue to do is the Tracfone smartphone tutorials. These are updated tutorials. Like I said, I'm going to repair those, get them set up and ready to go, and they will be on the air. I will do more reviews of more people's videos and more reviews of songs. And eventually, if I get enough watch time, we'll start reviewing these movies. Now, I know you've seen a few of my movie reviews, but you're going to see more of them. And I will go ahead and do that as well. So, it's up to you guys. Some of you guys have been really good students, and I'm thankful that you're here. I really am. I'm thrilled that you guys took the time to watch my videos and to actually learn something. I cannot tell you how thrilled I am that you guys are learning something. Let me tell you this. As I have stated in my last live stream and some other live streams as well, Stemodity says, I'm a big fan of your song reviews. I'm thrilled with that. I really am. I really am. And I'm glad you were here tonight. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, like I said, do the song reviews, review other people's videos. Also, I'll get some more of those smartphone tutorials. I will finish Danica McKellar's book. I promise you I'll do that. And I will be putting more sophisticated stuff on here. It really is up to you. It really is. The more you guys watch, the more my ratings go up, the more likely I get a partnership. One of the big things I'm running into right now is that there is no Decatur celebration this year. There is no Assumption Fest parade this year. There is no Stonington Summerfest this year. I'm not even sure they're going to have a Blue Mountain Fall Festival, to be honest with you. And even if they do, they'll probably wear all of us wear masks, and that's not going to help anything. And I could go on and on. None of these festivals are running this year, so I'm having to try to keep my ratings up through live streams and education, and that's not easy. I promise you that's not easy at all. And so it is very important for me that you guys watch my videos and you learn stuff from them, because like I said in a previous live stream, the day has come of the haves and the have-nots. Either you're going to be the have or you're not going to be the have. And if you're not the have, you're going to suffer dearly. I promise you. The difference between Poor Street and Rich Avenue is my videos. If you watch them and you learn from them and you get everything you can get out of them, the more likely you'll be headed towards Rich Avenue. Otherwise, you're headed for a real extreme Poor Street. You don't want to be there. I promise you, there's going to be a lot of people in the next few years who are going to be on extreme Poor Street, and they're not going to even know what hit them. All that stimulus money you've been seeing so far, eventually it's going to go away. What happens then? Rich Avenue, Poor Street. You have to make your decision. If you don't want to be on Poor Street, you follow me. And I will show you how to not be on Poor Street. You may not be on the richest part of Rich Avenue, but you certainly won't be in Poor Street. I guarantee you that. I'll make sure of that. So it's up to you. It really is up to you. The more you help me, the more I'm going to help you. It's that simple. That's what I'm here for. You saw this education. You have learned a lot of things tonight. If you've endured it all the way to the end, you have learned a ton of stuff, and I'm glad for it. We'll see how much. Now, some of the review videos I did, I will probably pop those up tonight, just because of the people that I told that was going to, that I said, hey, I'm going to review your video tonight. I want them to be able to see that. And I don't want to have to go through a whole live stream just to see what I said about them. Those will probably be up tonight. The rest of them, it'll be time. Just give me some time. I'll get them up. Okay. May not happen right away, but I'll get them up there. I promise you. So, for those of you who are still with me tonight, how are you guys doing, and what else would you like to see on this channel? Make sure that it's something educational. I really want to put something educational on this channel. So, really, what educational material would you like to see on this channel? Because I'm keeping note of this, and I promise you, at a certain point, if my ratings continue to go up, I get my partnership back, a lot of stuff's going to be put on here. I'm going to sit right down here. I'm going to pop up video after video after video. I'm going to educate the heck out of you. There's no question about that. I want to entertain you a little bit too, but I really want to educate you because I know Poor Street's coming, and I don't want it to be you. I don't want you on Poor Street. I want you on Rich Avenue. So, if you have some ideas, leave them in the comments below. Contact me, whatever. If you need a specific question answered, I'll do my best. Right now, I have a heavy schedule. I work 35 hours a week. It doesn't leave me a whole lot of time to do what I need to do. But if I get my partnership back, I'll have more time on my hands, and there you go. So, anything else? I'd love to hear from you guys. I'd like to hear whatever you have to say. Even if you're not watching me live, I really want to hear what you have to say. Please, just talk to me. Let me know what's going on. All right. Well, as a final thought, I want you guys to go to song reviews. I will be doing more of those. That I will definitely do. And when I'm doing the song reviews, I want you to think very carefully about the questions I'm asking. They're poignant questions. And maybe as you're listening to songs in the future, you will start thinking about what they're saying in the songs and get an idea. Let me tell you, there's a lot of songs I like. There really is. But when it came to Genevieve, I too am a fan of lyricism, and this is coming from Stemodity. Great. I'm glad to hear that. One of the things I noticed about Genevieve, and it wasn't so much the song, it was the music video. Did you see it in the music video where she was trying to put up her thumb and hitching a ride? Back in the 70s, that was a great thing. Today, it's totally illegal, and I think you know why. At least around here, it's illegal. I don't know what it's like in California, but around here, you try to hitch a ride, you can go to jail. I wouldn't recommend it. And that's why I had a critique of Genevieve's video. It's like, no. Just no. So these are the kind of things I want you to think about. People just don't think. Cutting off the charts. Why? Because it's dangerous, and because of it is really dangerous. I'd like for you to do some research cutting off the charts. Cutting off the charts. That's what it is. Cutting off the charts. I want you to do some research. Research back in the 1970s when they used to put the pictures on the milk cartons. That's very important research. I really want you to learn that. Okay? Very important. And you'll get an idea why they stopped with the hitch and the ride thing. Really important you learn that. So please do some research on that. Learn that. It's very important. So, but these are the kinds of things I want you to pay attention to learn, to catch. I'll tell you one that I want you to research. I want you to research well. Have you ever heard of a guy by the name of Isaac Newton? You know who that is? Okay. I want you to research his first law of motion. I want you to memorize it. There's a reason for this, because we have people in the United States right now, young adults in the United States right now, that are calling Isaac Newton a liar because they're saying that what he said in the first law of motion is false. Why would I say that? I want you to think about it. I want you to think very carefully about what I just said. And if you're smart, you'll catch on to it quickly. You'll be like, they are calling Isaac Newton a liar. I can't believe it. After all these years, I didn't even recognize they're calling Isaac Newton a liar. And they do this routinely. It's not once in a while, they do it routinely. Think about it. I explained this in my first Kindle book, The Key is Logic. I actually have 4 Kindle books. I actually do. The first one is The Key is Logic. The second one is The Artificial Frontal Lobe. I would like to challenge some of you who are watching me tonight to read that book. If you have not read it already, I want you to read it. Feel free to ask me questions about it. I'd like to see you learn that stuff. Okay? Now, I also have a book called Hermeneutics, Exegesis, Paradigms. I want you to read that one too. You'll really learn a lot from that. I also have one more book. I forget the title of it now, but eventually I'll pop it up. But I want you to read those books and tell me what you think. You say, well, how much are they? They're only $5 a copy. $5. Shoot, you can't even buy a McDonald's meal for $5 anymore. Oh, we have 7 people in here. Let me know who you are. Let me know who you are. I put your email through Google and coming with a bunch of stuff about Exist database. Can you talk a little about that and why is XML even important? Why not use SQL or something? Okay, here's the reason why you don't want to use SQL. I'll explain this to you because I have used SQL before. To install the SQL engine into your hard drive, if you make some kind of mistake, it's tough to try to delete it and reinsert it. I've tried, and it got so bad it wasn't even funny. And if you want to buy the full-blown version, it's well over $100. Exist database is not only free, but you can install it in Linux with little to no time. It's really that easy. Okay. And the reason why you want to use XML, okay. It's not that SQL's too hard. It's too hard to install. That's the key. Let me tell you that. SQL in itself is not too hard. SQL installation is too hard. Okay, that's the key. It's the installation of it, not the use of it. I've used SQL and it's beautiful, but to get it installed in your computer, that's a bear. I have had real problems installing that thing in my computer. I said, no more. Okay. I get that. Okay. I've never used JSON, but XML I have used. Oh, hello, Survival on a Budget Made Easy. I know you're a little late coming in, but trust me, I did review 2 of your videos tonight. You will see that on the video response wars. Sorry, I fell asleep. Okay. The problem here is that I compared XML to SQL to begin with. Okay. I'll be the first to admit to you, SQL, as far as a language is concerned, is one of the most beautiful languages I've ever seen. Like I said, installing it is the real bear. Once you get it installed, it works great. But yeah, getting it installed, that's a real bear. There is a MySQL, MySQL, and I've thought about installing it in not Exist, but in my Ubuntu Linux. I just haven't gotten around to doing it yet. Time constraints is main thing that I have a problem with. Go to my HTML lessons. I have 157, I believe it's 158, 157, 158. I can't remember how many lessons I have. As you get further along in the lessons, I actually start teaching you about Exist, how to install it, how to work with it. Linux gives me a headache because of all the commands. It is a little hard to get used to it at first, but I tell you, once you get used to it, and I would use Ubuntu Linux. I prefer Windows. On some things, I do prefer Windows on. When it comes to running a database, I'd rather run it on Linux because they will allow. That's a lot of HTML. It is. The big reason why I want you guys to learn XML is because of SVG. There's your cash cow. There's the real reason. You say, well, learning SVG, we can do simple SVG anytime we want. Simple, yes. But if you want to do those animations, you must know database technology. Because what you're going to do is you're going to store the coordinates of your animations into the database and have literal calls to those coordinates back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. These are high animations that will actually make videos and everything else beautiful. That's why I want you to learn it. And you're very welcome to Survival on a Budget Made Easy. And that's why I want you to learn this stuff. Because I want you to be able to store the coordinates of your animations into the database and have call after call after call and bring up those animations and really make them smooth. Or you can make one giant call, have them stored in multiple variables, and pull them up and just run it over and over and over again. That makes the cool animations you all want on your videos, on your web pages, you name it. That's the key. Now do you see why I want you to learn this stuff? But I can't teach it to you with all the time constraints. The time constraints would go away if I had my partnership back. I could just sit here and do the work and get it done and present it to you. And I'd be happy to do it. But I have time constraints, and that's what this is all about. So, prod by JP, free. Why? Okay. Anyway, so this is what I want you guys to do. First of all, I want you to check my HTML lessons to see the thumbnails I've got on that. The ACPI. Okay. Stemodity says, prod by JP, you a producer. Cutting off the charts, pudding. And prod by JP, yes, my beats are bad. Stemodity says, HMU on SoundCloud, Stemodity. Glad you're all here. Thank you for coming in. But this is what I want to do for this channel. I want to go deep into SVG and show you guys how to do that. I want to show you more of this vocabulary. I want to show you a lot of stuff. There's a lot. I want to finish my calculus lessons. I really do. I want to teach you full-blown Latin etymology and Greek etymology. But I need time for those kind of things. I need you guys' help to buy me the time. Prod by JP. Okay. So, again, I wanted to say go to my ACPI lesson and look at the thumbnail on it. That was brand new. The Joint Photographic Experts Group, take a look at that thumbnail. It's brand new. So these are the kind of things I want you to check out. All right. Well, guys, I have been on the air for over 2 hours now, giving you the biggest presentation you've ever seen in your life. I had a very short vacation, so I was able to drop a lot of notes in a very short period of time and bring them all to you. And I was thrilled to do it. Will I have more time to do this in the future? Some of this, yes, some no. So if you want the more in-depth subjects, get my ratings up so I can actually do this kind of stuff. I love doing this kind of stuff, but I don't always have the time. Buy me the time. Help me out. Get my ratings up. Watch my stuff. Learn what you can. It's for you as well as for me, because when you guys learn this, you avoid Poor Street and you go towards Rich Avenue. I promise you. And if any one of you can go through all 4,000 of my videos and you still don't get to Rich Avenue, you let me know. I'll walk you the rest of the way. I have yet to have anybody take me up on that. But I know somebody's going to. They're going to be sitting there, I'm going to watch all 4,000 and see what I can learn. Boy, I'd love to see somebody try that one. Anyway, I wanted to thank each and every one of you for watching this humongous presentation. I've been thrilled to do this. I really have. And I was overjoyed to be a part of this. So, I got to go to work tomorrow. And I work for the next couple of days. I got a big yard to mow on Sunday. So I will not be on Sunday. But probably next Thursday or next Sunday I will be on. I will be taking notes throughout the time. I'm going to take a look at some of my other thumbnails and stuff and see what I may want to put up on there and do that. I am thrilled that you guys actually came here and watched. And hopefully you'll rewind. You'll learn this stuff. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Let me know what's going on, because half the time I don't know. Keep me updated. Keep me going. Will I do more video game tutorials? Probably in August I will, because let me tell you something. Like I said earlier, what days do you do the streams? Well, up until recently, I've been doing them on Sunday. It just depends on when I get my notes done. That's the big thing. I don't want to come on the air without any notes. I mean, it'd be nice to just come up on the air, but the thing is, I don't think that would be a very exciting live stream. You really want notes, you want research, you want things. I understand that, and I want to give them to you. But I need time to do this. I have an elderly parent, and I also have a big yard to mow, and on top of that, I have to work a 35-hour week. So getting the time necessary to make the notes that I need to make the videos that you guys want, that could take time. And I had a bunch of things I had to take care of recently, and I found out my car has a few little kinks and needs to be fixed. And that's another thing that's pressing on me. So yeah, you get the whole idea. All right. So, I'll try to let you guys know as much as I can. The more you guys contact me, Stemodity, do you have any videos at all that you want me to review? Because I'm more than happy to do that for you. Let me know if you have a video you want me to review. I'll take a look at it and I'll review it right here. No problem. Especially, I know if you'll go to my Navigating My YouTube Channel 2020 video, you will see a link to my Speed Learner fan page. You can actually enter that into the video response wars, and I definitely will review it. Guaranteed. So, please let me know. Play Minecraft. I wish I had the time. I really do. I'd love to play a lot of things, but I don't have the time. All right, I got you. I'll let you know one way or the other. Thank you, Stemodity. And I want to thank Out of This World, Stemodity, Prod by JP, Survival on a Budget Made Easy, and Cutting Off the Charts. I'll have to think about it first. Please think. Everybody is welcome to join my Speed Learner fan page. Go over there. You'll see it. There was a lot of information I posted there. I was hoping one day I would actually do some memory videos about that. I have a 5th Kindle book that is about 2/3 of the way done. But the thing is, I'm not going to go publish it if it's not going to be read by anybody. My first 4 Kindle books were hardly ever read. And I'm like, okay, I need a bigger audience before I go releasing my 5th Kindle book. So, please, read my Kindle books, watch my videos, raise my ratings, so I can have the time to do what you want. And I really want to do that for you. All right, well, I look forward to you guys being here, and watch my past live streams, because sometimes I get feedback from you in past live streams of those things. Well, this was going on here, that was going on. Sometimes in those live streams in the past, I actually talk about things that I don't have additional videos to. There's some surprises in these old live streams. You might want to look them up. You'll be surprised. Anyway, one last thing is that I'm sure you guys remember the Whitney Houston song, I Get So... Well, you get it. You get that one. If you don't, ask me, and, here. There you go. I think you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I do get emotional on this thing. I really get into this. I am in the groove. There you go. I'm an old 70s recidivist. What can I say? I know I don't look like an old 70s recidivist, but I am. Anyway, I wanted to thank each and every one of you for tuning in tonight. It's been wonderful. Please rewind this video and watch everything, because there was a lot of educational stuff that I presented in this premiere tonight. Some of this stuff will be on the air soon. Some of it will be a little bit later. Like I said, for the ones that I did reviews on, like Valerie, Reese, and the barbecue guy, and I didn't know you were a recidivist. Well, I am. I really am. Yeah. Never would have guessed. Let me guess. Fraud? Huh? Oh. Okay. All right. Well, I didn't know that was the definition. Sorry. I was just thinking of a person that likes 70s music. Sorry about that. I didn't know that was the name of the... I didn't know that was the definition of that word. I've been using it for a long time and didn't even know that. Yeah, I didn't know that was the definition. I'm sorry. I didn't know that. Yeah, I just thought that was a guy who just liked 70s music. I'd heard that in a movie once, and no, I sorry, I didn't realize what that word meant. I was using it in the terms of I just happen to like a lot of 70s music. Thank you for letting me know that. That's embarrassing. I had heard that in a movie once, and they were expressing their love of music, and I thought that was what that word meant. Okay, yeah. Woo, am I embarrassed now? Whoa. Anyway, I just use that word as my meaning of saying I love a lot of 70s music. I grew up in the 70s. I knew the culture very well. I know the culture very, very well. And yes, I did get myself a nice fish tank. It's okay. Well, it's okay now that I know what that means. But it's one of those things where, yeah, it does. Like I said, I heard it in a movie once, and I thought, well, they just love 70s music. So that's what kind of a recidivist I am. Just old time. I love music. I love 70s music. I grew up in it. I grew up in the culture. Yes, I had a pet rock. Yes, I had a happy face button. Yes, I wore some of the shirts like you saw in the Brady Bunch. Like, you actually wore shirts like that? Yeah, when I was a kid, I did. So, okay. So, anyway, I was a part of the 70s culture. I promise you that. You want to know something 70s, just ask me. I knew Saturday Night Fever, okay? Oh man. Some of my favorite artists, Billy Joel, Elton John, Donna Summer, Stevie Wonder, Casey and the Sunshine Band, the Bee Gees, ABBA. Take your pick. Carly Simon, Carole King, some of the greats. Fleetwood Mac, the Eagles, Doobie Brothers, Ambrosia. That kind of give you an idea. In some ways, I was even an urban cowboy. How many of you people know what an urban cowboy is? Yeah, Glenn Campbell. Nice. Well, thank you, Survival on a Budget Made Easy. Yeah. And yes, I did watch the movie Airplane, and yes, I do know how to speak jive. Woo! What it is, man, what it is. Do you like the Eagles? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Very much so. Eagles, Doobie Brothers, the Spinners, Albert Hammond. What was his name? Can't think of it right now. The guy that's saying Time Passages and Year of the Cat. I love that movie. Cutting off the charts, I agree with you. So, yes, all things 70. If it was in the 1970s, I was pretty much into it. Very much so. So I do know my 70s. Early Michael Jackson, that was always good. I did watch the movie Ben. The theme song of that was great. Streisand. I mean, gee. So. But yeah, if you want to know the 70s culture, you're talking to a guy who lived through it. Okay, I would have loved. I was too young for it, but if I had not been too young, I would have loved to have been at Studio 54. Do you like G.G. Allen or Nirvana? I have never heard of G.G. Allen. I have never heard of G.G. Allen, but I know I'm not into Nirvana. No, that ain't not my style. But I did like the Great Kid Band. And I'm very much into the Electric Light Orchestra, at least the early days. Now, their stuff lately has been a little flat. Back in the early days, they teamed up with Olivia Newton-John. That's why you saw the movie Xanadu. The plot of Xanadu was not all that great, but the music was just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. ELO and Pink Floyd were visionaries. The one song about Pink Floyd that I really liked was Another Brick in the Wall. That was one of the most astounding songs that ever came out. Really was poignant, right on the spot, right on the money. I'll tell you some other ones. Paul McCartney was really good back then. So was John Lennon. So was George Harrison. A lot of great music that came from all three of them. Really good stuff. Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel. How many of you guys remember Simon and Garfunkel? Yeah, there's some good stuff. Hall & Oates. How many of you remember them? Yeah. So. Woo! Talk about a trip down memory lane. So. I kind of wish the 70s would make a comeback. I really do. It'd be nice. There's a lot of things I wish would come back. But unfortunately, they never will. Well, okay, never say never. After all, that was the title of a James Bond, well, kind of a James Bond movie with Sean Connery in it. You get the idea. Anyway, well, I wanted to thank every one of you for watching this video tonight, and it's been a thrill. It really has been a thrill to be here, and if I had more material, I would just stay on and present it more, but my big problem is that tomorrow I do have to actually go back to work. Vacation's over. Bye. But I will try to get on, if not by Sunday, at least next Thursday or something like that. I will get back on the air, and we'll do more. But the more my ratings go up, the more I'll be on here. I promise you that. So watch my videos, learn from my videos, keep me well informed. Stay with me, folks. I can use all the help I can get. All right. I will tell you guys more in a future video because you know I packed this one in tonight. I mean, think about all the notes I prepared. Yeah. How many people think that they could do something like this? Yeah. So I want to thank you guys for watching me tonight. Did you like Superfly? No. I will tell you, though, that when it came to Love Unlimited Orchestra, they had one giant hit back then, and it was Love's Theme, and it was really, really good. Fantastic song. I know Barry White did some other songs that were, they were good. They just weren't as good as Love's Theme. Love's Theme was really good. How many of you people remember the 3 Degrees? How many of you people remember the 3 Degrees? Minnie Riperton. How many of you people remember her? Or Melissa Manchester? Or Bonnie Tyler? Or Samantha Sang? Let's see you guys answer that. All right, folks. Like I said, I do have to work tomorrow, and I have to get myself 3 degrees, yeah. Survival budget made easy. Enjoyed what I've seen. Well, remember, you can rewind this, and there's 2 hours of content that you can, well, 2.5 hours of content you can really learn a lot from. And I hope you do. I really do. So please learn as much as you can and enjoy. But I've got to cut it short for tonight because I do have to go to work tomorrow and I have to get myself ready to go. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in tonight. You guys have a great evening. Keep watching, keep learning, keep growing, and I will tell you more in a future video. So I'd like for you to stay tuned.